That's good. Yes, sir. My name is Carlton Cartwright. I am the Executive Director for the Children's Coalition Incorporated. And today is December 23rd, 2019, and we are at the Clifford Chester Sims Veterans Nursing Home in Springfield, Florida. Okay, sir, and what is your name, sir?
Earl J. Davis.
Okay, Mr. Davis. And when is your birthday, sir?
26 August 1926.
Okay, all right. And where were you born?
Independence, Kansas.
Okay, Independence, Kansas. Yes, sir. Okay, and what branch of the service did you go into?
Army Aviation.
What is that?
Army Aviation.
Oh, okay. What year was that?
Pardon me?
What year was that?
That year was 1943.
Okay. All right, all right. And how old did you say you were again, or how old are you?
I'm 94.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Okay, and okay, Army Aviation. What rank were you when you separated?
Same branch.
What rank though? What rank?
Oh, rank. Same rank.
What?
Chief Warrant Officer. Chief Warrant Officer W4.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. How long did you stay in the service?
30 years.
Wow. Congratulations. Congratulations. Whoops. Okay. So where did you go to basic training?
Camp Blanding, Florida, right over here in Jacksonville.
Uh-huh. And what were you doing just prior to going into the service?
High school.
Uh-huh. Where'd you go to high school?
40, back to the early 40s. I forgot.
Okay, that's okay. Don't worry about it. It's not a problem.
Long time.
I understand. So basic training was where?
Camp Blanding, Florida.
Okay. Where the heck is that? Where is that?
It's a BLANDING.
Uh-huh.
It's a National Guard base now.
Where?
Right at Jacksonville.
Oh, okay. Over on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right.
And how long was basic training?
14 weeks, as I recall.
Wow. Okay. 14 weeks. So that was what was it, like 3 months?
Yeah.
Just about 3.5 months.
Yeah.
And you learned how to do what exactly?
Fire an M1 rifle and stay out of trouble.
Okay. While you were in basic training, did you go on leave at all?
No.
Okay. All right. So where did you go after basic training?
I went to Fort Benning, Georgia, to paratrooper school.
Uh-huh.
And while I was in paratrooper school, they had they almost slaughtered a lot of our troops in Europe, and so they pulled us all out of paratrooper school and sent us to Europe.
Where?
We ended up in France.
Uh-huh. What year was that? Do you remember?
40, early 44 or 43.
Uh-huh.
Can't remember exactly.
Okay. All right. And so you were in France. Do you know what city you were near?
We just landed there and moved on up as the troops moved up into Belgium.
Okay.
And I stayed in Belgium until they find out where they needed me the worst. And then they told me I was going to the 104th Cavalry.
Uh-huh. Okay, and so what was your job there?
The 104th Cavalry was just driving a Jeep and protecting the commanding officer.
Okay. Up to that moment, were there any casualties in basic training? Anybody get hurt?
Oh, yes. Oh, absolutely.
Really? It was like a regular occurrence?
Oh,
People
yeah.
training physically?
Well, not training. It's just getting slaughtered.
You mean, yeah, but I meant, what about during your basic training?
Oh, no, basic training.
Everybody was
We
fine?
only had one injury, and the guy it was self-inflicted.
Huh. Okay, did he survive?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you saw a lot of fatalities, I guess, in Europe.
Yes, I did.
And so tell me about your tour.
Well, I was fortunate to go to Europe instead of the Far East because we had it so much easier. It was cold and snowy, freezing, but we didn't have all the problems they had in the Far East.
Okay.
So I was happy about that.
Okay.
And then the war was over in, what was it, May or June of the next year.
45?
Yeah, 45.
Okay.
So you want to know from there?
Yeah, I'd like to know about that period
Okay.
when before 45.
Or before 45.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we was pulled. They pulled us out of a little place called, if I can remember it.
Is that in Belgium?
It was in Germany
Okay.
where we were at that time. They pulled us out of there and sent us down to Saint Nazaire. No, not Saint Nazaire. Where's the big coast down on the big shipping point down in France?
I don't. Nice.
Probably Nice.
Okay.
Close enough.
All right. On the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not sure exactly.
I'm not either.
Okay. And so, what did you do down there?
We just waited it until we heard from the war was still going on in the Pacific.
Okay.
So we were starting to be trained to go back to Fort Hood, Texas, to be retrained to go to the South Pacific.
Oh, I see. Okay, so let's just stay in Belgium for a minute. I guess that was where you spent the majority of your time?
Spent quite a bit of time there.
Okay, did you saw a lot of, were you in combat?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so tell me about the casualties. How many casualties do you think you saw on a regular basis?
Oh, we probably, they varied so much that...
Hundreds, thousands?
Oh, no, not that many.
Okay.
No, not that many.
All right. Did you ever get hurt? Did you ever get hit?
I got a little shrapnel here and there.
Yeah, but all right.
Wasn't one reported.
But you did get hit.
Yeah, but...
Purple Heart?
Huh?
Did you get a Purple Heart?
No, you didn't get Purple Hearts in those days.
Oh, really?
You had to lose an arm or a leg.
Oh, okay.
For a Purple Heart.
Yeah. My father got hit pretty bad. He got one.
Yeah.
But he just passed away last year, but that's his story, not yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should have given you one anyway. But anyway, that's just my opinion. Okay.
I never did get one. I never did get one. Never asked for one.
I understand. So how long exactly were you in Belgium?
Oh, probably, it was months, probably 5 or 6 months.
Less than a year. Okay.
Yeah.
So then you wound up being shipped out to the Mediterranean?
Yeah.
All right, and what'd you do there?
We just hung around and
Okay.
played sports and that type of stuff and stayed in shape
Okay.
so that we could go to the South Pacific.
Did you ever go?
No, but the war ended just before we got there.
Okay. So then what did you do?
I came home and got a discharge
Right.
and found out that wasn't the life for me, so I re-enlisted.
Okay. So you went back in the service.
Went back in the service.
And what branch now? Same one?
Same branch.
So where was the first place that you were stationed?
First Fort Rucker, Alabama.
Okay, now before we go there, when you were back in basic training, do you remember anything in particular about your instructors?
No, the only thing I could remember was Merle's Marauders. I don't know whether you... Merle Marauders was... he was a full colonel, and he was in the Far East, and he made quite a record of himself. So when they started recruiting, we got down to the point where we had to start recruiting. He sent a lot of his troops, but very highly decorated troops, back to the States. So they would hit every infantry division, basic training, and so that these people would be motivated enough to join the military.
Okay. All right, okay, so, now, okay, so you're stationed stateside,
Yeah.
Right.
At that point.
so tell me about your career. Go ahead from there.
I went to Fort Eustis, Virginia.
Uh-huh. What'd you do there?
I was an instructor in aviation maintenance.
Aviation maintenance.
Yes.
Okay, and how long did you do that job?
Oh, off and on for years, for probably 8 or 10 years.
Really?
Yeah.
And how was that?
How was that?
How did you enjoy your job?
Oh, yes, yes.
Okay, so
Very
you-
much so.
Okay. How many students did you have in a class?
Well, it varied because we had anywhere from basic trainees up to senior officers.
Mm-hmm.
So it would vary, but I'd say on an average of 30,
30 in a class.
30 or 35.
So were you teaching people how to fly?
No, that was ground school.
Oh, okay.
That was ground school.
What did that entail?
That was teaching them how to maintain the aircraft that somebody else was going to fly.
Okay, so were they mechanics?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, all right.
Mechanics, gunners, and avionics people, the whole 9 yards.
Okay. What was I going to ask you? Oh boy. So, what kind of planes did you work on?
We worked on C-123s. We worked on mostly helicopters, H-13s, H-19s, H-23s, H-25s, H-30s, just all different kinds.
Did you say gunners before, as far as some of the training?
Well, no, they weren't. There were no gunners at that point.
Uh-huh.
Gunners didn't come into play till later.
Uh-huh. But there was a time when you did teach that?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so artillery, ordnance?
Well, no, just aviation type gunnery.
Okay, all right, gotcha. So it was only a weaponry that was affiliated with the planes,
Yeah.
with the aircraft. Got it. Okay, cool.
Right.
All right. So, by the way, through your experience, did you have any difficulty staying in touch with your family?
Well, I did because I lost 2 wives to cancer
Oh boy, I'm
while I
sorry.
was in overseas.
Uh-huh. While you were in Belgium?
No, this was after I returned.
Later? Okay.
Stateside.
You have any children?
But no, I have none, but both of my wives had children.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, where's this? Where are you stationed now? Where you're doing all this instructing?
Fort Eustis, Virginia.
Okay.
And Newport News for Virginia.
And how long were you there altogether?
Off and on between overseas trips, and I want to emphasize overseas trips because frequently we were pulled out and sent overseas.
Where? Where'd you go?
To Southeast Asia, to Vietnam.
Uh-huh. So you did how many tours in Vietnam?
Two 4-year tours.
And what were they like?
Well, like hell.
Uh-huh.
Like
Where in Vietnam did you go?
Well, the first time we got off at Saigon and worked our way up north, and the second time we were at Cu Chi, where they had all the tunnels.
Uh-huh.
Probably remember reading about the tunnels, where they had hospitals and all that kind of stuff underground.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay. And so what did you do there?
I was an aircraft maintenance officer.
Uh-huh. And how did it go? What was your day like? You know?
Busy. Recovering aircraft was probably the biggest job I had.
What did that entail, recovering?
Well, either aircraft that was shot down, particularly helicopters that was shot down, and then any other aircraft that we could help recover.
Okay.
And you tried to repair the aircraft if it's repairable,
Right.
and fly it out of there, get it flown out of there, or you destroyed it.
Right.
And I destroyed very few.
Okay. So you had a low record as far as not being able to rebuild.
You know, I had pretty good luck of rebuilding them and repairing them and sending them, flying them out of there.
Okay.
I only lost a few.
And what kind of aircraft was that over there?
Well, we had various aircraft.
I heard you say helicopters.
Yeah, we started off with H-21s. I went over with the first unit to Vietnam with the first helicopter unit, which was H-25s,
Mm-hmm.
Sikorsky's, and then we got the Hueys, and then later on they got gunner ships and everything else in there.
Okay. Okay, so by the time that you started doing tours of duty in Vietnam, I know there was some differences that you experienced. So, I mean, what was a major difference between fighting the war in Europe and fighting the war in Vietnam?
Oh, the difference in the world. In Europe, it was cold, wet, rainy, snowy, icy, and in the Far East, of course, you didn't have any of that.
It was hot.
But we had jungles,
Right.
and these enemy would hide in the jungles. So they come in there with a foliage stripper. They stripped all the leaves off the trees,
Right.
which is, I've got right there is Agent Orange,
Oh, okay.
right there.
And so, what stripped them? Oh, you mean from the
They defoliaged it.
right? Okay, using Agent Orange.
You use an Agent Orange.
Okay, and
They
you,
fly to, but typical with 7 aircraft in a formation,
right,
all flying and dropping Agent Orange.
right,
And if you were anywhere within miles,
really.
you were going to get it.
Wow.
And they didn't
Discriminate.
no, they didn't discriminate as right. They didn't tell you when it was going to happen
Gee
either.
whiz.
Many times I was out on a recovery mission, and we could look up and hear the roar of the engines and see just like it was raining.
Yes. Right.
And there was no way escaping it.
Acid rain.
The acid rain.
Wow.
Dow Chemical finally got really blown apart with that Agent Orange bit. They got fined thousands and thousands, or I probably say millions.
Millions, yeah. Dow Chemical, you said?
Yeah,
That's what I thought you said.
they were the manufacturers of it.
Okay. Wow. Okay. But it was under government contract, then, weren't they?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right. Gee whiz. That sort of puts a halt on you for a moment. Did you how about associations, friends that you made while you were in the service? And we haven't even gotten to your second tour yet. We're still on your first tour, right?
No, we're on the second tour.
Okay. All right. I'm just trying to catch up here.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did you get along? Were you an officer? You were a warrant officer.
I made warrant officer between the first tour and the second tour.
Now I remember what I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
It was Army Air Corps when you went in World War II.
That's right.
So what was it when you re-enlisted?
Well, when I
Air Force or Army?
well, Army, they changed from Army to Air Force in 1945
Okay.
or 47. I'm
Right.
sorry.
So you were there in the beginning.
Yeah,
Got it.
I was there, but I was in lighter aircraft in those days.
What is lighter aircraft?
Observation aircraft.
Got it. Were those twin engine,
No, they were mostly single engine,
single engine planes?
yeah,
Okay, and much smaller aircraft?
yeah.
Uh-huh, okay. All right, okay, so, while you were in Vietnam, did you have any problem communicating back home?
No, because we left out of the 25th Division, which was Hawaii. That's where the 25th was stationed.
Right,
So we had good communications. We had a flight in and out of there every day. So we kept abreast of what was going on back home,
right,
and what was they in turn had a pretty good idea of what we were doing.
okay, good. All right, so, when you went on R&R, where'd you go?
Went to Tokyo one time.
Oh, really?
That's only only R&R I had.
Okay, all right, how many times did you go there? Just once?
Once.
And you're saying that's the only one that you had?
Yeah, I met my wife there,
Oh, okay,
and we had a good 2 weeks together.
uh-huh. All right, good. Okay, so, how long was your first tour?
My first tour ended up only about 9 months,
Uh-huh,
but my second tour ended up 2 years,
wow, okay.
and the third tour ended up 2 years.
Oh,
of
you-
course.
3 times?
So yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
all right. So all 3 of those times, you didn't get vacation? Didn't you got your 30 days?
Well, we got you got your 30 days if they could spare you. That was if they could spare you.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, incredible. So you got to go to Tokyo and where else?
Just Tokyo is the only place I went.
Okay, all right. And the other on weekends or you can get a weekend pass or anything? Jesus
You
Christ.
didn't want to pass.
You didn't want to pass.
You want to stay alive.
I understand. I understand.
Yeah.
Was not a safe.
If you got a pass, you might come back dead.
In a body bag, huh?
Right.
Okay, I understand. All right. So you said you retired after 30 years?
3 years.
30. Correct? So all right. So after Vietnam, what did you do?
After Vietnam, I went back to Fort Eustis, Virginia, and taught again. I was the aircraft. I was teaching all different types of aircraft subjects in those days. Hydraulics, propellers, engines, rotors, you name it, and we taught it.
Gotcha. How long? So you're in Virginia. How long was that tour?
I can't remember because I always asked to go back when I was overseas. I always asked to go back to Virginia because I loved the job I had
Right.
and all. So I can't remember exactly, but I would say it was probably 3 years.
Okay. So where did you go after that?
I put in for retirement,
Okay. So you went in originally what year? 43.
43,
Okay, and you did 30 years, so that means you got out in 73.
373.
All right. So Vietnam. Oh, that was in the 60s.
Yeah.
All right. So you did 3 tours there consecutively.
Second tour was at Cu Chi,
Uh huh.
out where all the tunnels.
The first one was where?
was Saigon.
9 months.
Yeah,
Second one was Cu Chi.
Cu Chi.
Third one was
Back to the States.
back to the States.
There was no two. There was 3.
There-
3.
3,
There was only 2.
only
Sorry.
2 to Vietnam.
Yeah,
Okay. And so then you finished up in Virginia?
yeah. First finished up in Virginia,
Okay.
and retired in Virginia.
All right. So you in the service for 30 years. So besides the places that you've already mentioned, I don't care whether it was on vacation or not, where else did you travel?
All over the United States, really, but
Okay.
I can't say it was out of the continental limits. No.
It wasn't.
No.
No, that's okay, but you travel like around the country a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, that's a lot of traveling.
that's right, that's right.
Tell me some of the places that you went.
Oh, Branson, Missouri was our favorite place.
Okay,
Because they had good shows and everything there.
all right.
We went to, let's see, we did go to Alaska one trip.
Wow.
I forgot about that.
Okay.
And, let's see.
Who's that? We, you and your wife?
Yeah.
Go ahead. What else?
Well, we went in a group.
Okay.
We went in a group with a bunch of with a bunch of
Military families?
military families, but we were all in motorhomes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, everybody had a motorhome.
Got it.
So
You go like in a caravan?
Yeah, caravan.
Wow.
But we didn't go in caravan because you'd block the traffic.
Right.
But we would still go, every 30 minutes or so, another group would go.
Take off, huh?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
All right. So where else? You got to California?
Yeah, California.
Arizona, New Mexico?
Arizona, Washington State.
Utah?
I went through Utah.
Colorado?
I went through Colorado.
Okay. So you've seen the country.
Yeah.
What about up in the Northeast? New England?
No.
No?
No.
No? Okay. Did you ever go up to Canada?
Yeah, one trip to Canada.
There you go. And so what about the southern part? You've been all through Texas?
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Right.
Many times.
Okay. And so Southern California, New Mexico, Arizona. You said that already.
Yeah.
All right. So you got around.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Good for you. Good for you. All right. Were you ever a prisoner of war?
No.
Thank God. Okay. All right. What about medals, awards, and citations?
I've got a chest full of them, but I don't.
Well, you got them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got a chest full of them.
I understand. I take it that you were, you were a part of battle planning, weren't you?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. How was the food?
K or K rations.
Was it KP or K rations? Which one?
K rations.
K rations. Okay. Okay.
I never pulled KP in my life.
All right. Good. Good for you. Okay. Good.
I guess I was fortunate or dumb.
Yeah. I go. Okay. All right. Did you feel like you had all the supplies that you needed while you were pretty much your career?
Pretty much.
Pretty much. Ran out a couple of times.
In Vietnam now, we're short of aircraft parts all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we had to rob one aircraft to get another one flying, and so and so.
Right. Robbing Peter to pay Paul, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So there was quite a lot of pressure and stress in some of those jobs that you had, huh?
Quite a bit. Quite a bit.
Okay. I take it did you maintain any of your friendships afterwards?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But we had seven good friends that we traveled together in
Really?
RVs, and all 7 of them are dead now with the exception of me.
You're the last one.
Yeah, I'm the last one.
Okay.
So I guess my time's coming shortly.
Well, I'm not pressing you.
No.
Okay. So you were in Virginia when you separated?
Yeah.
What were you thinking about? What was your mindset when it was getting close to retiring?
Well, I had a chance. I'd worked with Bell Helicopter Company a lot and Sikorsky Aircraft a lot with different types of aircraft that we would have problems on. And so I got familiar with people. And so when I got out of the service, when I put in to retire, Bell Helicopter sent me a letter. I didn't ask for it. They sent me a letter and asked if I would join them. And I did.
Okay.
But guess what happened to me? I went to Iran. They sent me to Iran.
You're still on active duty?
No, I was a civilian at that time.
Okay.
I'd retired.
Okay. Oh, right.
So
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yes, but Maybe you didn't pick up on that Iran bit.
I did. I'm mistaken. You were still on active duty, but go ahead.
No.
All right, so now you're a civilian. You said Bell helicopter?
Bell helicopter, and the Shaw had, when the Shaw was in power over there, he bought 1,000 helicopters from Bell. 1,000, if you can believe that.
Yeah, well.
And then we were to go over there and open up an aircraft maintenance and training center to train all these people.
Iranians.
And that was an impossible task.
Okay, but you went. Did you go?
Oh, yes.
Okay. How long did you stay there?
Well, I stayed there 4 years until the Shaw got kicked out.
Deposed.
Yeah, and when the Shaw got deposed, as you say, my wife and I came home.
Okay.
And my wife was with me. And we came home, and I called my boss and I told him, I said, hey, I'm leaving tomorrow. And he said, you can't leave tomorrow. But I said, you watch me. I said, I'm leaving tomorrow. So I went to Tokyo. I went to Tehran.
Right.
And there happened to be an old foreign European aircraft sitting on the ramp, and with the props turning. And I asked the pilot, he was standing outside the door, and I asked him, where are you guys going? He said, we're going to London. I said, you got 2 empty seats? And he said, we can throw things around a bit here and make 2 empty seats for you. And my wife and I caught that last plane out.
Okay. So, just really, really quick, or I don't know if it's a long story or not, but why were you in such a hurry to get out of Iran?
Because it got dangerous.
I hear you.
They were shooting everybody. Any foreign officer, any Iranian officer that was pro-American,
okay,
they shot him.
Really?
They lined him up and shot him.
Okay. Wow.
Including my counterpart.
Do you remember what year that was?
Whatever year. Remember the embassy when the embassy was taken over?
No, I can't. So you got out in '73. So was it before 1980?
No, it was before 80. It was I'm going to say 79.
Okay, that's all. Just an approximation.
79.
That's fine.
Yeah, approximately.
Well, that was exciting.
Yeah. It was very exciting.
Okay. Okay, so just 2 more questions. And after that, so you came home. What did you do when you came home? Did you retire finally?
No, I just hung around, thought I was going to just ride a bicycle and play golf and do all those kind of things, and I got bored. And a friend of mine worked for Sikorsky as a test pilot, and so he had his boss to call me and see if I'd come to work for Sikorsky, and I did.
Okay.
And so I went up and became a consultant on the Black Hawk helicopter.
Oh, wow.
The Black Hawk is world famous there.
Oh, yeah.
So.
How long did you do that?
About 3 years.
Okay.
Until I got tired of living in hotels and motels and all that kind of stuff.
Okay. Where did you travel doing that? Where were you going?
Oh, gosh. Every military base around.
In the country?
Yeah.
Just all over the place, huh?
Yeah. Everywhere they had Black Hawk helicopters.
Okay.
I was there.
Right. Okay. Then after that, did you finally retire?
Yeah, I finally retired.
You sure?
Well, no, I didn't.
Come on, give it up.
I went for. I went to. What the hell's the name of the place? I saw an advertisement in our local paper for an aircraft supervisor on the assembly line for overhauling the C-130 aircraft for the countrywide.
Right.
Worldwide, I should say. And so I thought, well, what the hell? I'm not doing anything. I'm going to apply for it. And I applied for it and got it. and I didn't mean to, but I did. And that was the worst job I ever had.
Wow.
They just pushed you and pushed you and pushed you and pushed you. And you couldn't do enough for them.
Burn you out.
Yeah, it was.
And who was that?
I'm trying to think of the name of the company. Oh, craps. Oh, it's been a long time since.
Yeah, I hear you.
But anyway, it was at Lakeland.
Lakeland, Florida?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Okay, well, at any rate, so you were a civilian, you were working on Blackhawks. Were there any casualties? Anybody get hurt?
No.
No? Okay. What about that very last company? Anybody get hurt? No? All right. All right, 2 more questions. Did your military experience influence your thinking about war or about the military in general?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
About war,
Uh-huh.
certainly.
And how?
Well, let's get it over with. Let's go in and wipe it out and get it over with.
Not
Let's quit killing the good people.
okay. Not prolong it. You're
Right.
Okay. Last question. How did your service and experiences affect your life?
I'll tell you, and people won't believe this, but I loved the military.
Uh-huh.
I loved the military, and I was one of the few people that I guess I could hear say that they loved the military.
Mm-hmm.
But I did. I loved the military. I didn't love the combat now. I have to exclude the combat part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants combat.
Right.
But other than that, I really, really enjoyed it. Always had good jobs, responsible jobs, had good bosses. And we had good camaraderie among the wives and all of that stuff.
Nice.
And it was just super.
Good life.
Yeah, good life.
Okay, well, I want to thank you for an excellent interview.
Well, I hope.
And I want to thank you for your service.
Yeah.
Okay?
Thank you.
Yes, sir.